Hello and welcome to the Genuine Learning blog. My name is Melissa Galasso, and today we're going to talk about a recently issued document from the AICPA around their pipeline plan. So as you're probably aware, there's a little bit of a shortage of accountants out there in the accounting profession, and the AICPA is acutely aware of that. And so they have released a new pipeline plan. This is the fourth version of the plan to really identify what are the root causes and see what we could do to respond. And so the process that they've gone through is really to look at awareness, right? So how can we get people aware of the profession? I have to say, as a mother of a high schooler, the awareness is a key element, and she has a CPA in the house, but also a little bit around the improved perceptions. Despite the fact that I am not a practicing CPA, the interpretation of what accountants do may not be the highest and most well-regarded in our younger children. So obviously providing training and education opportunities that will reflect the profession more positively. I really do wish my kid could take an accounting class. Thankfully, they did offer a personal financial planning class. The instructor was not at all qualified, unfortunately, and the class wasn't very good. And so I don't think it reflected very well on our profession. It was taught by a math teacher and not by someone who actually had any qualifications regarding this. And so I think that, adds a little bit to it. So if we could maybe provide better education to teachers around this and that they could have really good education, encourage people to join. Firm culture and business models. Obviously, people are looking at partnership a little bit differently, and maybe that's not the end goal for everybody. Obviously, DE&I being a huge portion of what is working on at this level, and really trying to make sure that we are attracting people, because we know the next generation is really interested in a diverse workforce. And then partnering with educational institutions. And so, as you can see here, this is the pipeline acceleration plan that was rolled out by the AICPA. And their goal was to really try to build on some of these key items. ELE was something that was introduced at the March council meeting, the regional meetings of council by the AICPA. And I think a lot of people have an interest in learning more about ELE, or Experience, Learn, and Earn. Students would graduate with less than 150 hours. They would join their firm as a paid first-year staff member, but they would have to get 30 hours of their accounting and related courses using a flex schedule. And so a lot of what people hear is that extra year is very expensive, and some students just can't afford to wait. And so the goal there would be to have accessibility to the profession. Another one that they are looking at is looking at firm culture, looking at benefits, looking at compensation, what services are being provided. How do we make the business model more accessible and more interesting for people? And so really trying to provide a little more feedback about that. They also have a huge campaign around communication, trying to put out different spotlights. And so you're going to see videos, This Way to CPA, and other things that are coming out of here to try to make the profession look better and provide a little bit more information about the other things that we do that maybe, everyone just assumes when I say I'm a CPA that I do taxes. I have a wonderful CPA who does my taxes, and that's not what I do. And so maybe providing a little bit more guidance around what it is that CPAs can do going forward. We've already talked a little bit about the NASBA changes to the 18-month window, and so extending that to 30 months and trying to work through that to encourage students to finish if they've started the exam and they had things that expired. Examining possible changes to the Uniform Accounting Act and seeing what could be out there. Obviously, different states have different successes here. In order to go through this, and I think they cited a handful of states like Indiana and Nevada and Oregon in some of the legal changes that they have been making. They have a lot of focus on high school and college initiatives, trying to encourage a little bit more getting to students earlier. So in the 2021 CAC interest, what they learned from that research is that students start thinking about, I will say, when they're trying to decide where they're going to go to school, they start really with their major. And if so, they don't have awareness, they're not going to even consider accounting. And so giving them a little bit more opportunity there. So they're trying to put out a little bit more of these, TikTok and other types of tools to introduce and increase that awareness. Obviously, they also have a focus on the AP exam. There is a new AP business exam that's going to come out, but potentially see what we can do with respect to maybe an AP accounting that we could add on, or make sure that the AP business course introduce and targets some of the accounting content, and then potentially look at other areas like community colleges and university programs, and trying to obviously incur a little bit more around data sharing, dual credit options. STEM recognition is something they've been talking a lot about, which is if we can get more grants for teachers and things like that. If we were able to push this over and make accounting a STEM, the AICPA is going with the T in technology. I would have gone with the M in math, but that's just me. And so they are trying to encourage accounting to join the other STEM fields where you can get grants and research, and they would hope to get something through to give more K-12 grant access that could then be used for growing and actually having qualified teachers who can introduce these things to our students and to encourage them to join the profession. Obviously, the AICPA Foundation provides scholarships, and so obviously working to ensure that we have a diverse group of people getting those. And then again, other things that they are looking at, expanding potentially the 529. That's something that the AICPA has just backed in terms of an HR, a House bill that's going to work with federal legislators to talk about what we could use those 529 plans for. Government audit and finance collaboration. NASACT has a really nice program out there for people who want to go get more training in a key area. And then offshore is something obviously a lot of people have been looking at. And so offshore is definitely something that is a potential option. So as you can see here, there's a lot that they're working on. There's a lot of different things that they are trying to incorporate. And I think I would highly recommend that you take a look at their goals and so that you can be aware of how we're attempting to increase that pipeline. So that's a wrap on today's blog. I hope to see you on a future vlog. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.